going to happen here, we're going to introduce some of our sponsors here in just a second. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our hashtag celebrating 1 million women. And then we're going to have our speakers come up and we're going to give you an idea of what it is like to share your story here at Faith. And then we'll have about a half hour afterwards to mingle and chat and get another glass of wine and have some more appetizers. So that's kind of what to expect. So if you have not, we haven't met yet, I am Karen Ray. I'm the founder here at Faith Lifestyles. And it is such an honor and a privilege to be here and share the space with all of you. So thanks for all the hugs. I love it. And so we're going to be giving some love today. So as our ladies share their stories, we have these little paddles. So if you find that you need to just give them a little love, you can hold your paddle that way. And if it's a part of their story that you can relate with, maybe you've been brave and you have different players, but it's just, similar, you can do I relate. So it's going to be a little interactive. But first of all, what is hashtag celebrating 1 million women? It's been on my heart for many, many years, and Deanna Nowamnick has really just over the years just really encouraged me to share the stories of women. And I started out about 8 years ago here at Faith, and that's what we were doing. We were sharing the stories of women and talking about all the things that we love. And so we've been doing that, and we've kind of getting back into our foundation, and now we have a space on our app. It's called hashtag celebrating 1 million women, where women can share their stories interview style. So there's 16 questions where you can share your voice. It is going to be a global women's initiative for women everywhere to share their stories about being brave. And the stories that have been submitted so far are absolutely incredible. And I was thinking today that maybe we should have a few tissue boxes on the tables just in case, but maybe your family has a tissue. But we're just going to be we're going to have a panel of 3 women today where we're sharing the stories. But this is really a safe space where women can have a voice to share their story about being brave. And maybe it's, maybe they've had a health challenge, or they've had to make some difficult decisions in their life with their parents or their children, or maybe you've had some hard conversations, or maybe, you've switched a job or whatever it is. There are those brave moments that tie us together, that connect us, to give us a little bit of hope and inspiration. And it's all about the lessons learned and the things that we've had to come through. So that's what hashtag celebrating 1 million women is about. So we're reimagining how women connect. And and of course, that is part of my story. And that's how I got here today. As I walked through 5 major life transitions in a 2-year period, one of them being divorce. I had not worked for 27 years. I was a stay-at-home mom, menopause, empty nester, all those things, and living on my own for the very first time in my life at the age of 58. And so I felt like I did not have a voice. And the pivotal point for me was when I had to face my counselor. He had this big white piece of paper one day I came in, and he goes, Karen, there's your piece of paper. I want you to write 1 word on there of how you feel in your life, in your marriage. And I'm thinking, okay, what does he want me to write? I was a people pleaser. I'm like, okay, what's he expecting? And so I dug deep and I wrote a word, and he had also written a word. So we lifted our papers up at the exact same time. We had the same word, invisible. He goes, Karen, you are invisible in your life and in your marriage. He goes, and it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. You're not showing up for yourself in your own life. Thank you. And, so I walked out of there with alligator tears and really had to take a look at my life and where I was. And so I started making choices. I started educating myself, and I started surrounding myself with beautiful women who helped me along the journey. And that's really what we're about. It's all these beautiful ladies. And we were journeying together. And that's what makes Faith so special. That's what it's about. So many women have been with me from day one. I think we started 8 or 10 years ago, something like that, coming together just like this. But now we have our space on our app where we can write our stories. We have, if you're a businesswoman, you can come and journey with us. And it's so beautiful to be able to journey with all of you. And so, of course, this does not happen without our sponsors. And so our sponsors are, what they are helping us to do is have gatherings like this and to create the space for the stories, a safe space where women can really share. And we have our sponsors are going to come up and say hello real quickly. But before that, what we are doing is, if the women who are submitting their stories, if you get it in before May 31st, and there's 16 questions you fill out, it's actually really easy well, let me take that back. It's not easy, but it's simple but not easy, because you really have to dig deep down, as one of our members will tell you, that I challenged her to go a little bit deeper. And but it's worth it, because you can be a beacon of light for somebody else. And that's what it's about, is bringing that hope to someone else, while also, tapping into your own story for you and what that's going to look like. So we have a book. It's called Being Brave. It's going to be out in December. So if you turn in your story before May 31st, our advisory board will be picking 20 stories for the book. And it's all being, with our beautiful sponsors, there's going to be no cost to the ladies submitting their stories. It's all being paid by our sponsorships. And so if you, maybe you want to write your story and submit it, or if you want to come and read a story, come and read a story, and there's a spot there too where you can always make a comment and give that person some love. And then if you want to be an event sponsor or sponsor the book or our live streaming, we are live streaming today, to get these stories out further amongst the social media land, if you will. And so, or come and journey with us in our business membership. So I have a couple gifts for all of you today. You'll see that you got your charm. So each event we have a special charm. And today, I don't speak French, but somebody else would probably say it better than I can. So your charm today is La Courage. It's French for courageous voices. And that's what these ladies are today, they're sharing their courageous voices with us. So the other gifts I have for you, if you are not a subscribing member, we do have a new social membership, so you can get all the exclusives from our partners. And so I will be sending that to you directly and giving you a code, so all of you ladies can go right to our marketplace too and feel special with all the exclusives there. And then the other gift I have for you, as I was walking through my story, my son came up to me one day, and it was in the depths of all the ugly stuff. And he came up to me with his hands like this. And he goes, "Mom, I have a gift for you." And I said, "What do you have?" And I looked in his hands and there was nothing there. And he goes, "Mom, I want to give you this gift. It's the gift of opportunity. So you can see all the possibilities in life." And ladies, that's what I would like to give to you today. So now it is my privilege to introduce our sponsors to you. And so we have a couple of our sponsors who are going to be giving just a quick little introduction. We have some other sponsors who will be talking next time. So I'm just going to shout them out real quick. Sandy's Tomatoes will be talking with you in June. And Free Time is going to be also talking with the SAG. They just came on board too. But first, I want to bring up Sabrina Falundi. This is their winery, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I just wanted to say hello, everyone. This is hello. Yeah. So I just wanted to say welcome. Thank you for coming to Prohibition Cellars. I am the owner of Prohibition Cellars, together with my husband, who makes the wine. I'm behind our newsletter, social media, basically everything else that's not in those barrels. So yeah, we are focused on creating really great wine from some of the best vineyards in Washington. We're also a big part of our focus is about building community. We live here in Woodinville. My son goes to school here, and we do that through our special events. A lot of wine education events, and we have live music here on Friday nights. So yeah, thank you for coming. We're having a lot of female led bands this coming month from Durrell Holden to Craig Sandusky and After Four. So really great 4-piece bands coming up here Friday nights. And yeah, if you'd like to take home a bottle of wine for Easter brunch tomorrow, or if you want an extra glass, I'll be behind the bar pouring for you. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Karen. Cheers. So, you know too that all of our events are going to be here, and so they are our location sponsors. I think Teresa was up next. Thank you. I think I may have had it just slightly wrong on my list. That's okay. It's okay. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Yay, you can hear me back there. So my name is Teresa Lieutenant, and I'm the relationship with money coach, and I sometimes do some financial advising on the side. You know, when Karen was talking, several months ago about hashtag 1 million women, I just knew deep in my gut that had to be something I wanted to make a statement with, because the passion that I have for women, all of you in this room, is to help you fall in love with your money and
Amen.
and express yourself through it and really be who you are and embrace it as your very best friend. Just think for a minute about what that might mean to you if you actually realized that your level of financial abundance is directly related to how you feel about yourself. 100% your self-worth. And if you don't take that work on now, maybe, I know many of you are, but if you don't take it on seriously now, you will not be where you want to be in 5 years. You can't be entrepreneurs without a healthy relationship with money, yes?
Yes.
So that's why I'm here, is for you, because I found this community full of so much love and openness and innovation and courage and character. That's who I see out there. And that's why I want to be here, to be 100% in for you and your relationship with money. So the best way you could do that is come to Wealth Circles. It's a group of all of us and many other beautiful souls talking about their relationship with money and learning and growing together. So it's the last Wednesday of the month. It's free, 4 o'clock p.m. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can happen to check it out with all the information right on the app. It's all right at your fingertips. And Donita is up next.
Hello, I'm Donita Wheeler. It's like doe, a deer, knee, ta. So that's how I'm supposed to have an Enya over my end, but I never put it, so it's Donita. My real name is Caledonia, and I'm the 7th in a row. So my mom had to come up with a fun name. I want to thank you for letting me stand on this stage, Karen, for having the platform to be able to stand on this stage. And in thinking about being brave, I think it was, we moved here in 2019 from Hollywood, Florida. I moved as far away as I could possibly humanly get. And I picked here. We picked it intentionally. And when we moved here, COVID hit, and it was like, oh, we're going to stay home for 3 years. And that was fun for a minute. And then we were so we were thinking the other day how grateful we were that we were able to do all the hiking and climbing and stuff when we first got here, just, getting to know the nature of it. And then getting to know the nature of faith has absolutely been the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm so grateful to be a sponsor. I'm so grateful to be able to be in this space. And I know I was thinking about being brave. And this thought came to me. We never say to men, be brave. We assume they're brave. But we say to women, be brave. Well, we don't need to say be brave. You are brave. And we as women don't stand up and say we're brave. We say we're going to be brave. No, you are brave. And everybody in here is brave. Everyone in here has done something. They've done something that they're very proud of. And I just want to say, I think that is fabulous. We were talking earlier about women give birth. That's brave. Women have children. That's brave. We drive with men. That's brave. All of these things that we do, right? I'm brave all the time. But I love the story. I love the book. I'm so grateful to be able to be sponsor and be here and get to know all of your beautiful, lovely souls, your energy. The energy in this room is just so beautiful. And I just wanted to say thank you. I do energetic therapy. So basically, it's like I have a couple things. I have a program that removes energy that gets kept for a long time, and then I also do just straight up therapy with the energetic twist, no insurance, don't trust that. So we just, pay as we go. But what I like is that we can get through your problems, and I'm not going to just sit and write them a notepad and smile at you and say, okay, I'll see you next week. And nothing. No, that's not how that works. So I'm going to be like, you know what? The energy behind that is this, and make your decision based on that. And, things like that. And I am so grateful to my clients. Nothing fills my heart. It's not my family. It's my clients. My clients fill my heart. I'm just kidding. I love my family. I was just at the Easter Bunny, my granddaughter, so that was fun. But y'all fill my heart so much. And thanks for taking the pink wearing, accent, carrying girl here up to the Pacific Northwest. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And our other sponsor is Brenda Reese.
I can't see you guys. All right, there you are. Hi, ladies. My name is Brenda Reese, and I am a relationship mentor and a forgiveness coach. Thank you. I am in a room of brave and courageous women, and I am honored to be a part of this group and have been for quite a long time, almost since the beginning, because I believe in it. I believe in us, and that's partly why I became a forgiveness coach. I was holding myself back. Right? Did anybody relate to that? I was holding myself back and I didn't know why. My personal life, my business life, they were different. They were incongruent. I wasn't showing up as who I was because of shame, guilt, grief, all of that was holding me back. But through the forgiveness process, I learned a way that I teach today, and I teach individually and I teach in groups of how we can work through that in a very simple way. Again, when we do inner work, it may not be easy, kind of like telling our stories, but our stories are valuable. And I encourage each and every one of you to tell your story. Tell your story, please. I need to hear it. That's what kept me going through all of the times, through my divorces, through my husband who now has dementia, through going through the empty nester, putting my child through recovery. I needed your stories. So I encourage each and every one of you, because you have one. Please don't think you don't. You do. And I need to hear it, just like everybody else here. Thank you, ladies. Needs to hear it. And so if you want more information about forgiveness, if you feel shame, guilt, grief, anything that is holding you back, I would be happy to have a conversation with you and encourage you along the way. Thank you.
All of our sponsors, Lolita. And so ladies, if you remember way back before COVID, we always had at our events, we had a featured nonprofit, because we want to, one of the things that we can do here at Fade is give marketing time and have contact with all of you. And so it is a great honor to bring that back. And I have Michelle Melman here with us, and she is with Cancer Pathways. Come on up, Michelle. They are doing some amazing work, and I just want to give a shout out to them because they have this beautiful scholarship program that they that I was just a judge for, which was I read 100 stories.
Thank you. Volunteer.
But to hear the stories of these young people, they're all like juniors and seniors in high school, so it's a scholarship program. To read these stories, and it just really confirmed the space that we're creating with all the ladies here and their stories, and what an impact they bring to all of us. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit and say hello to the ladies.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you so much for letting us be featured here at Cancer Pathways. It means so much to me. Thank you. As Karen mentioned, I'm CEO of Cancer Pathways. You may know me possibly from the news for decades. I did the news at Cairo 7, waking up very early in the morning, and in October, switched career paths. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and Cancer Pathways came to me and said, we think we want you to take over, and so I did. It's been a big learning curve, but it's been absolutely wonderful to have this be part of my story now. And we're formally, I think those of us in this age group know Gilda Radner. Yeah. So Cancer Pathways was formerly Gilda's Club. You may recognize that name, right? So about 6 years ago, we changed our name to Cancer Pathways. And the three things we do basically support, resources, and education for anyone touched by cancer diagnosis. It can be your own, it can be a loved one, a teacher, a coach, a caregiver, whoever it is in your life. You don't have to be the cancer patient. You can come to us and we offer all these things at no charge. So that is what is so important to us. It is our mission to make sure no one faces cancer alone. I'll be here, of course, this afternoon if anyone wants more information on it, but some of the main things we do is support groups, what you think of as the traditional support groups for the caregiver, the cancer patient, the family member. We do that at no cost via Zoom, so you can do it from the comfort of your home if you need to talk to someone. We also do education. We go into schools and educate our kids about vaping. It is an epidemic now, as we all know, sadly. HPV, we teach them about HPV and the cancers that virus can cause, but there's a vaccine to hopefully make sure you never get those cancers. So we teach our kids about that and sun safety and things like that. And then we also have camps, and we have our first one in Woodinville this summer. Yes, we have 5 camps for kiddos who've been affected by a diagnosis. Again, it can be their own, but also maybe a parent or a sibling, and they come to these camps, and they can be kids, but it's also a therapeutic camp. So just a little bit about what we do. And again, I want to thank Karen so much for this and featuring us as their nonprofit. It means so much to me and those of us at Cancer Pathways. And thank you, ladies. I can tell the love here is awesome. I love it.
And ladies, again, you can find out more about Cancer Pathways, of course, on their site. And you can also, they have a featured spot right on the page app as well. So now I'd like to ask our featured stories to come up here. And ladies, come on up. I'm taking requests. Okay, let's see here. You're gonna need your mic right up close to you.
Oh.
Right up close to you. So let's get, so this is our first time we live streamed in quite a few years, so we're kind of testing everything out here. Whoops. And see how that works. And yeah, actually see, just so I can see all this. Yeah, so as she's, we're getting all situated here. Usually we have a little table in front of us that I get to set all my things on. So I'm just gonna give a quick little overview of all these 3 ladies. And this is the first time we've done a panel like this. So please, just give us some love as we go along. And what they're going to do is they're going to answer 5 of their questions. But first, I'd like to introduce these ladies. Wonderful Morrison is the founder and CEO of Leader Academy, a boutique brand and marketing consulting agency that specializes in elevating femmes impact and influence. Cindy Toledo in the center here, a remarried widow, mom of 2 grown daughters, Mimi to 4 grandchildren, leads our local Modern Widows Club community and works for Modern Widows Club as a program support manager supporting Modern Widows Club advocates, leaders across the country. And Jody Schilling she's got a bunch of those initials behind her name and is an educator and certified life coach, gives women clients their power back when going through personal and family mental health crisis. Your New Story, her signature coaching method, is a simple 20-minute journaling process that gently uncovers our core fears and then provides a loving way to transform them. And it has been a joy for me to get to know all 3 of these ladies. I have worked with them. I have known them for years. And so thank you for coming and sharing your stories with us. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to let each one of you, we'll just go in order here. We'll start with Wonderful, then Cindy, then Jody. And you get 3 minutes to answer. So if you're wondering if you're over time, Charlie right there is going to tell you.
Great.
Yes, and so they all have different stories. I just threw down my paper. But first of all, tell us what is the title of your story, and just say hello real quickly, and then we'll ask you the first question. So,
Hello, everyone. As you know, Wonderful is my birth name, not my stage name. And honestly, I can't really remember the title of my story because that wasn't the original story that I wrote. So there's 16 questions, and when I answered them just answering them. And she calls me and says, so we should talk about your story? And I was like, what? Well, these two gave their heart and soul to the story, and I was like just writing a story. And I think that's what was to tell the story. So there's the title, the actual story.
Yeah, thanks, Wonderful. And by the way, the title of your story is From Breakdown to Breakthrough, Building Self and Business Through Friendship. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And Cindy, why don't you say hello real quick?
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm
so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Karen. My story is Grief to Growth.
Yeah, and we'll get a little bit into that too. Jody, would you like to just say hello?
Yes, my story is, I'm going to draw a blank on it.
Okay, here, I can tell you.
I know that it's already there, but I think it's changing fear to courage.
Yeah.
And it's already there.
It is already there. So awesome. So let's just get right into it. So here's the question. Paint a picture of what your life was like before you encountered the challenge that called for you to summon your courage. So paint us a picture of what the situation was at that time.
Let me start with the song. At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Didn't think I could ever live without you by my side. So the picture is I have never really admitted to myself or to anyone else that women friendships have been my struggle most of my life. And just by circumstance, being sent off to boarding school and back, well, my story is about when a group of them really betrayed me in a very deep level, and I could have never seen myself here again because I was at that space like, I am good. I am good. I don't need you. You don't need me. I have my babies. I'm okay. But really, that's not the truth, right? So I was a self-betrayer for a while when it came to women friendships. That's where my story starts.
Yeah, so just real quickly too, I think there was a multitude of other things happening at that same time that contributed to the impact of the story.
At that, there's a perfect storm in all our lives. That one that's really like the diarrhea of the heavens of the gods. And it happened to me about 10 years ago. Everything happened at the same time. I was diagnosed with a health scare that nobody in my family's ever had, hyperthyroid. It's the one my doctor said makes people actually feel crazy because you can't sleep, you're just on all the time, and I'm sweating all the time, and I'm anxiety ridden all the time. And my husband is facing the biggest legal battle of his life. And my business was just stolen by my niece. And women just decided to, it was just everything that could happen on a Thursday happened. Because Wednesday was great. I'll be completely honest with you, because it didn't happen gradually. It wasn't like this, oh, I can see it happening. It was like, holy crap, it's Thursday, and the world just crapped on me all at the same time. And it was really a tough place, because the one place I thought I could go to was my friends, and they're the ones that betrayed me the worst in that way.
Thanks, wonderful. And Cindy, tell us what was happening in your life. Paint us a picture.
My life was
A little bit closer.
regular, mundane, every day, doing what I had always done, caring about the people in my life. I worked for my church. I did a lot of entertaining and organizing and serving and all of those things. But in the back of my mind, all along, it was kind of like, what am I really here for? What is going to make a difference when I'm gone? And it was always just this back of my mind thing, but I didn't. So I just went, okay, well, I'll just continue being that nice, loving, caring person. And then,
And then, yeah, so go ahead and tell us what the and then was.
well, the then was on July 19th of 2011. I left my house that morning and agreed with my husband that I was going to work and then go directly from work to my daughter's up in Bellevue and spend the evening. And so when I was on my way home at 10 o'clock at night, I started to call him and he was not answering the phone. At first I was irritated. I was like, why are you outside working in the garage? And he was a mechanic. And then as I got closer to home, it was like, you're not, something's wrong. And when I walked in the door of my house, I found him dead on the floor. He had died probably about noon that day.
Yes, so Jody, okay, we're getting the picture of some of these where people were at. So what was happening in your life?
And I think back to when I had to summon some courage. I remember that I was only 4 years old, and my mom was crying in the bathroom, and this was a common thing. She would be crying in the bathroom, and I would be outside the bathroom door, sitting on the floor, and being terrified that I wasn't old enough to know that she might do anything, but I just knew that she was not okay, and I knew why. My stepdad would beat her, and so it would be after she was beaten that she would be in the bathroom crying. And so my decision that I made to deal with this thing in my life at that time was I just thought I needed to be, that she needed my help. I needed to help her, and that I needed to be good at all costs. I needed to be a good girl. I needed to make life easier for her, and so that was it. And then when my parents did fight, I had a little place at the top of the stairs that was like a little landing, and when they were fighting, I would sit on that ledge and I would listen intently. And it wasn't until so many years later that I realized that that was courageous of me to do. And I think it was because I wanted to hear everything, because that would give me more information. That would allow me to know how to help. And I would stay out of the way, but I would be there, listening for everything that I needed to hear.
Wow. And so as you can see, these ladies have been through a lot. So let's take them through a little bit more of their story. So can you describe the pivotal moment when you realized you needed to be brave and make changes in your life? What was that pivotal moment?
There's a few, but for this particular situation, it was actually with Karen. She had invited me to a lunch date at the Malbec's Cafe. Do you guys remember that place?
Yes.
And I remember thinking like, God, I swore these people off. But I was drawn, I was led. And I've never really been like a gut feeler kind of person, a very logistical, logical in my head. But something made me go, and I went, and I never didn't know it then. And I just want to encourage you women, you never know what you're saying yes to. I didn't know I was saying yes to this, honestly. And here I am. And she changed my life because she brought me to you at the time in my life where I really couldn't do one more relationship with a woman. I didn't want to. So here we are at the Malbec's Cafe. I didn't even know Malbec's had a cafe. So I'm going through the nursery going, oh my gosh, look at all these trees and plants. And we get there and she's telling me her story. And I thought, oh, I gotta tell my story too. She was going through her 5 major experiences at the time. And she said it was such a strength that I thought, you know what? I mean, maybe this one time I could tell my story too. But I didn't go deep because I felt like, have you guys ever felt like when you tell your story, your real story could be used as a weapon against you? That's where I was at. I felt like whoever I told this story to, you can turn around and go, oh, see, you're so gross, right? Just in that level of rejection is, but that really changed me because then I wanted to support everything you did. And then I said yes to everything she asked me to. I mean, literally, yes to everything. So then it's really changed the trajectory of my heart going from bitter, angry, and vengeful to, let's see.
Yeah, awesome, thanks for sharing there. So what about you, Cindy? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So when was that pivotal moment?
Well, the moment was that night. I, of course, was hysterical, and there were a lot of things that went on. But because I worked for my church, that was one of the first phone calls I made. Was besides to my family, was to the pastor because he was my boss. So the whole staff, a number of our close friends and all my family were there that night. And I don't even know that it was that night that I really knew I needed to do anything, except that I knew that I wasn't alone. And I knew that because of all the places that God had met me in previous things in my life, that I knew that I could trust Him. And so there was a peace in spite of the horrific loss that was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So how about you, Jody? What was that pivotal moment when you realized you needed to be brave?
I think it really was those times that my mom was crying and I was hearing the sounds that were horrible to hear as a child. And just, I do honestly remember being like sitting on those stairs. I remember the shag carpet. I remember like I was there a lot. And I remember thinking this is my job. This is what I need to do. And so I think I took actions from that place of being good, being responsible, making things easy. And that was pivotal. It was sitting on those stairs in 1972.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next question, I'm going to kind of put two of these together. So was there something that inspired you besides just having that waking moment? Was there something that inspired you? And then also, what were the doubts that came upon you during that time?
It's not a funny thing or coincidental. It's always divine intervention, right, or divine design that we would have a lady here who represents cancer. Because for me, my pivotal, or not pivotal, but what was the first question? What was it?
Is there something that inspired you?
The inspiration.
The inspiration to take those next really important steps. And then also, what were the doubts that would creep in?
So my mom passed away from breast cancer at 59. I just turned 50. And that, I remember she could barely breathe at the time. And she called me over. And she's like, summoning me. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's going to tell me where all the gold is hidden. This is going to be amazing. And she tells me 4 of the greatest truths. She said, always laugh. Laugh, because that is the medicine to all things. And she said, move for 30 minutes a day. She goes, if I had just moved 30 minutes a day earlier on, she would have maybe lasted another 10 years or something. And then she said, but find people to trust, to share your heart with. For real. And then she, now can you remember what the 4th one is, because I'm so emotionally tied to this right now. And I remember thinking at that moment, I didn't really have other than her, she was like my best friend. Then there's my husband, right? And I didn't really know how to connect to women. And I think that's why it was really hard to tell the first story, because I had to connect. And I wasn't really sure I was ready for that, because I didn't know what I was saying yes to again, being here. And that's the doubt and fears I think I struggle with on a regular basis, is whether or not I'm good enough to be a friend, right? So it's kind of the same.
Yeah, that journey is difficult. It really is. As you realize these different things about walking forward and realizing some of the truths that maybe you have to learn about yourself.
And I'm sitting next to Cindy. She's like, "No way, you can't tell a story. You seem so open." So and I think you're open enough because you can learn how to survive in spaces like this, because you're around people all the time and you've got to live the world. But to really be connected to people, that's scary. And that was the doubt of fear, is connection, trust. I trust you.
Trust. Anybody else that ever entered into your story out there? That word trust? Yes, absolutely. Cindy, how about you? Was there something that inspired you to take those next steps? And what were some of the doubts and fears that also crept in?
So going further into that night with all of these people at my house, we were all standing in a circle, and people were praying, and then somebody started singing Amazing Grace. And in the midst of that, as soon as they started singing, I heard this audible voice in my head of God just saying, "I'm going to give you all the strength you'll need. I'm going to give you strength. I'm going to give you a peace like you've never known. And I'm going to give you hope for your future." And I've never forgotten it to this day. It was like a tape that was just continually running in my mind. I was repeating those things over and over and over again. Because in the midst then of obviously the horrific shock of going through all of this, it wasn't very long before I knew that I was going to lose my house. I was going to have to leave the house and the life that we had lived there. And I was going to have to live alone for the first time in my life at 57 years old.
Wow. So many challenges, and how brave just to each day they must have been too. So, and how about you, Jody? What were some of the inspiration that, for the next steps and the doubts and fears that may have crept in?
Yeah, I think that the inspiration, I'm certain of it, because I think that as a young child, there was no way that I knew to have this strategy to protect myself, because my parents couldn't do that. So I know that was divine intervention. I know that there was a spirit guide or God himself. That idea was given to me, and that I know was the inspiration, but I wouldn't know it interestingly, until I was an adult. I wouldn't have seen that was an act of courage. I didn't see myself as courageous when I was young, but I know that was the inspiration. And then the doubts and fears I had would come later with my own children. This experience growing up, I didn't ever want the story to be that it was, I didn't want to see myself as a victim. I didn't want to see my mom as a victim. I wanted this other framing of it all. But in that, when my own children would then struggle with mental health challenges that were severe, that's when the doubts came. That's when I felt like I am not a good enough mom, and this is my fault. And so in some way, I had taken on this role as having responsibility for everyone's happiness in my family or safety, to then transfer to, if it's not going well, then it's my fault, right?
Yeah.
So that was a big one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, so many things. So as we wrap up, what are some of the lessons learned, and what is something you would like to leave these ladies with the inspiration that you gained from your story?
I kind of want to follow the footsteps of my friend Donita. That I don't want to have to convince myself that I'm brave, that I already am. Because that's what it takes to be a woman. Brave was made for us. That word is made for women. Period. Right? That's the inspiration. Because although my mom passed away at 59 from breast cancer, and I wish she would have lived longer and taken care of herself. And although all of the not so awesome experiences with girlfriends happened, but I think about it now, did it have to happen that way? For me, yes. The way who I am, the way I'm built, the way God made my brain, the way that I respond to situations, I think just knowing that I'm okay just as I am. It took me 50 years to get there, but at this age, I don't really give a shit what anybody thinks about me. What anybody says about me, right? It's kind of like I've been through the ringer, and I'm good, and I love you because I love you, not because I have to love you. So I love you.
Thank you, wonderful. That is great. And I love that, yeah, we are, and that's why the book too is being brave, because we do that every single day, and just being up here too. And so thank you. And so how about you, Cindy? What are some, what would you like to leave with the ladies? What are maybe a lesson that you learned or some inspiration?
Some of the things that I did of my own volition was I found things that were encouraging to me. I print them, take them to my bathroom mirror, and every morning when I got up, even though I really would have preferred to lay in the bed with the covers over my head, I spoke those words boldly to myself in the mirror and felt empowered to go out and face the day, even though I didn't really feel like I wanted to. The other thing is that just recognizing that God has given me, or given all of us, everything that we need for what He intends for us. So I do want to share the little story about my mother. On my 50th birthday, she told me that morning that the Lord had told her I was going to be in a healing ministry. I pretty much all of it rolled my eyes in the back of my head because it meant nothing to me. Mike died when I was 57. When I was 60, I had for 1 year led the local Modern Widows Club group and was mentoring widows here. And I was out getting things for a 1 year anniversary celebration and started thinking about the healing that I had seen in these women over the year. And all of a sudden, I remembered what my mother had said 10 years before. And so I just, God gives us all that we need. I never would have wanted Mike to die, but I wouldn't want to miss the richness of what I've experienced because he's died.
Wow. And Jody, what would you like to do for ladies with?
I think really just in answering those questions and going through that process, I have to tell you all that I didn't plan to tell that story. You were the first to hear that story. And so, I encourage everyone to just answer those questions, because even if I didn't share this story, which I feel so thankful that I have a safe space to do it, but even just in sharing it with myself and being witnessing that I had courage when I was little and I didn't know it all these years, and I was able to see it in that way, that's what I would encourage everybody to do, is find the places in your life at different times where you showed courage, because it was there. It's already there. Yeah.
So ladies, thank you, Jody, Cindy, and wonderful. And I love how you all said that too, just by writing your story. You know, that is showing up and being brave. And I call it like your book of proof. It's like you have probably so many stories of being brave. And whether you turn it in, just like it, he said, go fill it out. It's like kind of amazing to see. It's like, oh yeah, I was brave. But I would just thank you, ladies, for coming today. And you can, what I would encourage you to do is hop over to either the website at www.biglifestyles.app or onto the app itself and read their entire story. There's so much more to it than what we were able to share today. And it is really amazing. I do encourage you to have a box of tissues close by because it will take you through these emotions of the heartfelt struggles that they had to go through. And then you'll find yourself cheering them on. And then you're like celebrating them at the end. It's like, go girl. So ladies, please give them a warm round of applause. So ladies too, just a couple things. These ladies have been so courageous. They get a special charm today. I've already given a couple of the ladies theirs. Wonderful, this one is yours. And it says
I was late.
courageous voices, courageous voices. So, what I would encourage for all of you ladies too, is like I said, hop over to the app, see what you can submit your story, go read the stories. And if you have any questions about how you can share your story, please just reach out and we'll give you some love and help you journey along the way too. So just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you. So now it's just social time. Feel free to go back and get some more appetizers and more food. If you would like it, you can always purchase another glass of wine or a bottle if you'd like to take one home. And just enjoy yourselves.